Electric vehicles, EVs, have been capturing the spotlight in the automotive sector for quite some time now. Both automakers and drivers view these vehicles as the future of the industry. This trend is largely due to the numerous advantages that electric cars have over their traditional counterparts. They are more advanced, require less maintenance, boast higher energy efficiency, operate quietly, and are more cost-effective. For instance, in São Paulo, operating a gasoline-powered vehicle costs about 30 cents per kilometer, whereas an electric vehicle costs just 11 cents. However, the most significant advantage of EVs is their zero emissions. This aspect is critical for a planet grappling with climate change. Government incentives worldwide reflect support for electric vehicles, with plans to phase out combustion engine vehicles. In Brazil, the legislative proposal number 2023-295 aimed to address this transition. Although these prohibitions have not progressed, the push towards fleet electrification is undeniable. Yet, there's an often overlooked aspect. Electric vehicles, despite their clean air benefits, are not the ultimate solution for our planet. The widespread adoption of cars presents challenges that electrification alone cannot solve. Therefore, it's crucial to acknowledge the challenges posed by the high number of vehicles on the streets. Electric vehicles, while they help reduce pollution, do not address other fundamental issues. Let's delve into society's dependency on cars and better understand this complexity. Mobility and innovation. Our lives revolve around automobiles. In Brazil, where access to efficient public transportation is often lacking, reaching certain destinations is only possible with private vehicles. There was a time when the proliferation of these modes of transportation brought significant social development benefits. The advent of automobiles necessitated better roads, avenues, and urban pathways, enhancing the quality of transportation infrastructure. This created direct connections between different areas, facilitating the movement of goods and boosting commerce and industry. The burgeoning automotive industry created jobs and introduced new production methods, like Henry Ford's assembly line. This spurred the development of sectors catering to vehicle needs, including fuels and parts. Consequently, car-related business opportunities, such as fuel stations, convenience stores, and mechanic shops, proliferated. To this day, vehicles remain essential in people's daily lives. They are used for commuting, travel, leisure, entertainment, shopping, and even medical emergencies, thus catering to almost all daily mobility needs. However, the issue lies in the sheer number of automobiles. From the year 2000 to 2017, the annual global car production jumped from 58 million to nearly 100 million. In 2023, it was estimated that there were 1.5 billion automobiles in the world, approximately one vehicle for every 5 people. The problem with the high number of cars encompasses various issues, including atmospheric pollution caused by the burning of fossil fuels. Studies indicate that in cities like São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, vehicles are responsible for 60% of pollutant emissions. This affects not only the environment but also human health. In search of solutions that do not compromise the advancements brought by automobiles, the world turned to an old alternative: electric vehicles. These vehicles have been highlighted in research and development, becoming increasingly a reality. Although electric vehicles are not a recent invention, it was in the 1890s that they began to gain prominence. Innovations such as rechargeable batteries and advances in electrical technology significantly contributed to this evolution. Quiet and emission-free, electric vehicles became the urban transport choice for the elite. However, the dominance of gasoline vehicles, due to their longer range and the abundance of oil, relegated electric vehicles to the background in the 20th century. Currently, electric vehicles are gaining popularity, mainly because they are technological, economical, and environmentally friendly, emitting no pollutants. However, doubts remain about whether they are the definitive solution to our mobility problems. Environment and electric vehicles. What really changes when we talk about regular vehicles and electric ones? Everyday vehicles operate with engines that burn fuel, including gasoline, diesel, and natural gas. The combustion of these fuels releases pollutants into the air, a well-known process contributing to pollution. Importantly, fossil fuels are non-renewable and may become an unviable option over time. Conversely, electric vehicles operate with engines that do not require fuel combustion. They are powered by batteries, which do not emit pollutants. Thus, electric vehicles do not contribute to the greenhouse effect. Moreover, electricity comes from various sources, many of which are renewable, such as hydroelectric, solar, and wind energy. Studies have been conducted to compare pollutant emissions between electric and conventional cars. The type of energy used in the production of these vehicles influences the outcomes. Depending on the country, electric cars may pollute less in the medium to long term. However, the issue is not as straightforward as it might seem. The problems caused by vehicles extend beyond pollution. They include issues such as safety and the large number of cars in cities, leading to intense traffic congestion. In São Paulo, people spend an average of 2.5 hours a day in traffic. In London, drivers lost 156 hours in traffic in 2022. The surplus of cars on the streets exceeds the capacity of urban roads. Some governments attempt to solve this by expanding roads. In Texas, the Katy Freeway was expanded to 26 lanes. However, this did not solve the congestion problem. In fact, traffic worsened. This phenomenon is known as induced demand. Another serious issue is traffic safety. In Brazil, between 2021 and 2022, there were about 650,000 car accidents. In the United States, traffic fatalities have increased by over 1,000% since 1913. Annually, about 1,200,000 people die in traffic accidents worldwide. The adoption of electric vehicles does not address issues such as traffic and safety. Moreover, there are concerns that accidents involving electric cars may be more severe due to the extra weight of the batteries. However, despite these problems, electric vehicles are seen as more beneficial to the environment. Electric cars, truths and myths. One of the strongest arguments in favor of electric vehicles is the notion that they are environmentally friendly because they do not pollute. However, this simplified view does not cover the entire reality. Electric vehicles represent a step forward in reducing dependency on fossil fuels. Yet, they are not the perfect solution. Their production also contributes to environmental problems. Electric vehicles run on electricity. However, this does not mean they are completely free from emitting carbon throughout their lifespan. The source of the energy that charges their batteries is crucial. If this energy comes from non-renewable sources, then the benefits are diminished. We still rely heavily on fossil fuels to generate electricity. In 2019, more than 60% of the world's energy was generated by burning fossil fuels. This implies that many electric vehicles use dirty energy. The growing demand for batteries increases the need for materials such as lithium and cobalt.